So today we're going to do the kind of practice that is very supportive for the nervous system, with everything that's happened over the weekend and just the ongoing onslaught of challenges that we're facing as a country and as people, individuals. It's very easy to kind of slip out of that feeling of safety and stability and move into all the different ways that we can get a little disturbed in our emotional state and in our mind and in our nervous system. So, you all have been with me long enough to hear me talk about polyvagal theory and how nervous system regulation is so very important for regulating our state of how we respond to the world. So, when we don't feel safe, and we're constantly looking for cues of safety in our environment. Simple things like maybe there's something in your way when you're walking in your usual path and something, you've got a bunch of stuff along the carpet or something like that. Even simple little things like that we notice as am I safe, not safe? And then you go toward big things like what's happening in the world all the time, it's not just today, but it seems like every day there's challenges that these are our nervous system is responding to the news that we read. Our nervous system is responding to other people and how they're reacting. So it's really important that we tend to our nervous system, that we tend to our emotional states, and give ourselves a chance for reprieve from the stress states. And of course, this isn't just present moment. It's, everything that you've brought with you in your life up till this moment, you're carrying with you in your experience of, am I safe, not safe in this moment? So when you work with vagal toning exercises, this brings a lot of resiliency into your capacity to have a wide window of tolerance for states that don't feel so safe. So little things that can jar us outside of our comfort zone, we can manage them. We can have resiliency and capacity to be in those states. Whatever stressors are coming your way, whether they're very big life stressors or small life stressors, whether they're sudden or ongoing, it really doesn't, we can work with it. We can build our capacity to be resilient through these challenges. So that's our goal, is to create a wider window of tolerance for our capacities so that when we feel unsafe or stressed or anxious or something's challenging to us, we can return to homeostasis a little bit more quickly and maintain ourselves there so that we can move through the world less reactive, less unconscious of how we are really feeling, more present and capable. So it's not rocket science. This is simple stuff. This is not hard to move through some of these exercises that are so valuable. And yoga's filled with them. Our practice on the regular, no matter whether we're focusing on this or not, is filled with the cultivation of that ventral state of our vagus nerve. So when we're in the ventral state of our vagus nerve, we feel safe, we feel like we belong, we feel connected, we feel capable of the delights and the gratitudes of the world. So our practice today will be all about bringing us home into our bodies and into this calming energy. So, all right, so let's begin by sitting up in a comfortable seat, straight and tall. Not too tall. Try not to ramrod yourself upward. See if you can be organic and be like the flowers that are popping up everywhere. So remember joy, spring. March is here, right? So maybe we don't have to feel so guilty about the weather. And can just enjoy the crocuses that are popping up everywhere, even a couple of daffodils and other things popping up and buds forming on trees and all the signs of spring. So as you drop into your body, let's begin with just some simple gratitude of life that is flowing all around us and within us. Can you kind of harness the energy that spring brings? Maybe you've heard some birds. Maybe you're feeling the growing light of the days. And see if you can just hold some gratitude for the life-giving nature of spring. Remember to seek some joy, that it's all around us, that nature is joyful all around us, especially in spring. So lean into that when you need it. And then for the first moment, let's bring our index finger and thumbs to touch, palms up, palms down, whichever feels more comfortable to you. You know, if your nervous system tends to lean in its stress state toward anxiety or racing thoughts or turbulence, restlessness, then maybe try those fingertips touching and put your palms down and feel just the simple feeling of your palms grounding on your legs. And if your nervous system tends toward inertia or toward depression or toward disassociation, if that's kind of your automatic response in a stress state, then turn your palms up. Okay. And instead of touching your index fingers and your thumbs, open your palms completely. So just subtle little things have meaning in your embodiment. Now that you have your hands placed where you want them, find your spine and consciously, willfully lift the heart. It can be small. It doesn't have to be this push forward and this gigantic lift and a squeeze in the back of your body, but float the heart upward and feel the energetic expansion of your heart chakra. And then begin to notice your breathing. And just see what's naturally going on here. Don't try to manipulate or change your breath just yet, but just sensing into how your breath is. Notice if it's fast or shallow, or if you tend to kind of pause the breath anywhere and hold it. Just see what's there. Let's just take a moment to move through the koshas of the body. This is just one way of many ways to touch your embodiment. Okay. So if you tend to disassociate or race forward into the unknown future in your mind, let's bring ourselves into the layers of our being, the koshas of our being. Start with your body. What are you noticing? Scan. What are the things that are highlighting your attention in your body? Maybe it's something that's a little fatigued or tight or tender. Maybe it's something that feels free and spacious, but stay with the physical sensations of the body scan. Keep breathing. Again, no judgment. You don't need to change anything. And then next we'll move into the breath body. We've already touched the breath a little bit, but just notice, how are you regulating your breathing right now? Is it free and flowing? Is it choppy or stuck? Is it fast or slow? Is one half of the breath longer than the other? Do you feel like you're breathing equally into the two sides of your lungs? So many potential things to observe. What is the state of your pranamaya kosha, that breath body, energy body? So move even beyond the breath to just sense your energy field and Try not to let your mind tell you any stories about that, whether you can or can't, but just sense, how's your energy? And moving into the emotional body. Can you feel that any emotion is rising higher than anything else, anything kind of coming to the surface? Can be multiple things. You can be and, or, and, but, and with. Are you noticing anything that needs to be tended to through these koshas? Moving to the mind. See if you can become aware of your own awareness. What have you been thinking about? Anything on repeat? And finally, touching a little bit deeper into that bliss body, our most pure sense of ourselves. Let the heart lift again. Anandamaya kosha, this sense of deep connection with all things. Have you touched this place within you today? And then bring your hands together and feel your palms touch, that physical sensation of touching from your fingers all the way to the heels of your hands. Center. Offer an intention here. What is it that you need support with today? What are you developing within you, trying to uncover, let go of? What is it that you're intending? All right, and then we'll release the hands and come on to our back. So as you stretch out on your mat, first just enjoy the simple act of being in your body, feeling it relax. There's time for work and there's time for rest, and this beginning we get to have time for rest. So melt before you even bring your arms overhead, just melt into a little mini shavasana. Notice how good it feels to straighten your legs after sitting. Feel your shoulder blades on the ground, the weight of your arms and your legs. Imagine if we just spent the whole time in shavasana breathing. That wouldn't be so bad, would it? We won't, but just enjoy and see if you can stay present. Let your body melt, have a little moment of that deep surrender. We were working with this last week of Ishvara Pranidhana. Can you just let go and surrender your body? Have trust and faith that you're right where you need to be. All right, and then when you're ready, stretch your arms overhead and let's enjoy feeling some length in your body. Reaching one side, reaching another side, feeling some expansion, some opening. Now we're not going to do a couple of, vagal things that we won't do here in class today, but that you can always remember is simple things like splashing cold water on your face or submerging your face in a bowl of cold water can be a very, very good thing for resetting that vagal tone if you're feeling like you're not able to stabilize your emotions or mind. It's a simple nervous system hack, so that's always available. Well, maybe not always available, but it can be available to you. All right, let's draw your knees into your chest and rock a little bit. Rocking is another simple, simple thing that is very soothing to the nervous system. Let your body kind of slosh left and right. So these practices are simple. There's nothing super complex about simple vagal toning exercises. All right, hang on to the knees and circle the knees. Let's roll the knees, kind of moving in a circular fashion. Rhythmic movement is another way of calming the nervous system. Circle the other way. And then we'll open up the knees away from the midline and bring them back in and just enjoy that rolling open through your hip joints. All right, and then we're going to alternate this and go left knee in a circle, then right knee in a circle, then left knee in a circle, then right knee in a circle. And this, left, right is also a nice component. It's not necessarily vagal toning, but it's a nice component of calming the nervous system. This is why walking is so helpful for us. When you're stressed and you go for a walk, you have nature, you have movement, you have breath, you have that left, right, and then suddenly you're like, oh, I feel better. All right, let's grab onto the feet and come to a happy baby pose, a little bit of rocking again here. Open up your back, open up your breath. All right, and then release that. Put your feet onto the ground, arms out to the side, and we'll do some left-right work here. So as your knees drop left, turn your head right, and as your knees drop right, turn your head left, and turn your eyes with it. The eye movement is important, so let yourself just move from left and right. And you decide that your pace. Okay, you could do this rapidly or slowly, whatever feels intuitively better. Moving your eyes, moving your head, moving your knees in opposition of your head. And then back to neutral. Keep your feet on the ground. Feel the ground. Feel the soles of your feet, the backs of your arms, the back of your head. And then bring your right knee into your chest, left leg long on the ground, and move around in your ankles. Wiggle through your toes. And notice if you're already feeling a shifting in your nervous system or in your body, your sense of embodiment. Maybe your mind is not wandering so much and you're here. Maybe you're paying attention to your breathing a little bit more. So just notice the subtleties. Okay, switching sides, left knee and right leg long. Keep moving around in your feet and be aware of that part of our body that tends to ground into the earth more than any other part of us. So let's enjoy waking up our feet and getting them ready for grounding. And then release and stretch your arms wide open. Expand, wiggle through your fingers and toes, and then draw the knees in to the chest and give yourself a hug. Twice more. Feel now the symmetry in your body, that sense of opening and closing. Tune into the breath. And then when you're ready, put your feet back onto the ground. Feel yourself ground here for a moment. Root your feet. Feel your body rest on the earth and touch your breath one more time. Feel the ribs expand. Feel them empty. Just enjoy the full breath. See if you can just play with exhaling a little bit longer than your inhale. Doesn't have to be a big focus just yet, but just make sure you're not shortchanging your exhales. So a little focus on the exhales. Let's roll over onto our side and come up to our hands and our knees. And as you find your way onto all fours, let's take a moment before we start moving to ground, rock into your right side, hand and knee, and then rock into your left side. And this may feel like, what am I doing? But see if you can really feel the earth yield and then push off and reach to the other side and then yield. And let the the joints above, your elbows, your shoulders, your hips receive the weightedness of this. So we're not locked out. Stay in your breath, yielding and breathing. All right, and then when you're ready, ground into all four corners, and let's begin breathing through some cat-cow, starting to wake up the fullness of your spine. Rounding the spine, arching the spine, try to move with the rhythm of your breath. Maybe close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Maybe keep them open, but your gaze is nice and soft. We're purposely moving into the body. Let this, our embodiment practices are really important. The more we're embodied, the more we sense whether or not we feel safe. If we feel grounded and present within us. And when we come out of that, we notice it more quickly so that we can do something about it. Instead of, reacting and biting someone's head off and having no idea why that happened. Okay, so let's be embodied. Nothing to run away from, nothing to avoid. We're just here enjoying ourselves. Okay. All right, and then wag your tail or move in any form of movement that feels really good for you. Shoulders, rib cage, pelvis, head, tail, what wants to move. Okay. And then drop back toward a child's pose and stretch your arms. Feel a surrender and a softness through your skull and relax into the ground. Give yourself over to this grounding, surrendering pose. Let your breath be here. Feel the comfort of being really close to the ground. I'll walk the hands over to one side and feel that stretching and lengthening through the ribs and feel the dropping back of your hip. Relax through your skull, melt into the base of it. And then walk your hands over to the other side and feel that reaching in your body here. And then come back to center. Come up onto all fours. Wiggle around your spine one more time, wagging the tail a little bit. All right, and then reach that arm all the way up. Let's roll your wrist a little bit. Touch the edges of your body. Know where your body ends. Exhale, drop that shoulder down, twisting. You can rock a little bit in this or in any pose. If the rocking movement, if that's helpful for you, you can do it through a lot of different postures. Breathing deeply, full long exhale. All right, and then reach that arm back up in the air, hand up, wiggle around, hand down onto the ground. Before we do the other side, feel again that grounding into your hands and your knees, maybe rocking back and forth. And then we'll switch. Arm up, feel your hand, wiggle your fingers, roll your wrist, open and close your fist. Know where the edges of your body is up there in space. Exhale and drop that shoulder down. Gaze toward the floor. Having that union of proprioception, meaning you know where you are in space, and interoception, you know what you're feeling on the inside of your body. Can you kind of explore both? These are very important aspects of keeping our nervous system in good regulation. Inhale, reach that arm back up in the air. Maybe a little movement of your wrist. Hand comes down onto the ground. One more time, yielding and yielding. Touch your breath. Curl your toes under. Stretch back toward a child's pose with your toes curled under before we lift up into a dog pose. You feel your feet open a little bit. And then come back up onto all fours and give your feet a little bit of a tap and know where your feet are. Curl the toes under and lift to a dog pose. Before we start pedaling around, let's first yield a little bit. Drop into the right side, drop into the left side. Maybe drop into your hands a little bit more, drop into your feet a little bit more, but just kind of know where your contact with the ground is. Yield and then push, yield and push. And then go ahead and pedal your feet so that you really know your feet. And maybe your heel drops all the way down and you bend that same knee to get your soleus to wake up a little bit. And then drop the other heel down and bend that same knee. Just try to get your ankles, your toes, your feet to come alive. Drop into all four corners of your hands and your feet. Feel your sense of 4 points of contact. Melt your head. Walk your feet forward. Come to Uttanasana, a forward fold. Relax your head. Bobble it around a little bit. Inhale for a halfway lift, opening up through the spine. Let's pedal your feet here. So we feel not just our feet waking up now, but all the way to our sit bones and our glutes. You can pedal, you can bend a knee and move the other hip back, just getting to know your legs, grounding yourself. One of the best things we can do when we're in a fight or flight kind of response where we're fleeing inside of ourselves is to ground, is to feel where we're touching the earth. Inhale for a halfway lift again. Exhale, melting to fold. Push through the feet, rising up, bringing the arms up to the sky. Full breaths, lean back a little bit. Let's cactus open, feel that chest expand, shoulders are engaged. Exhale and round in, chin to chest. Inhale, arms up, look up, changing the direction of your vision, looking upward, and then exhale, floating downward. A halfway lift, expand and open through the body. Exhale, melting again. One more time. Open up through the heart. Exhale and release. Push through the feet, rising up one more time. Trace down through the center line of the body. Let's pause for a moment and notice what we've done so far. Are you a little bit more embodied than you were when we began class? Feel the soles of your feet. Notice all the texture, maybe of your mat, maybe, feeling the firmness of the floor below your mat. Unlock your knees and let your body yield. Can you have that slight heart lift again? And let's simply tend to those exhales. One of the simplest things we can do to tone that state of safety in our body. So when we breathe long in our exhales, our nervous system naturally responds and takes us down, away from that fight or flight or freeze or fake, and brings us into a sense of calm and ease. If you have trouble with it, try pursed lips exhales. I know we do this breath all the time, but it truly is, I think, the most precious and simplest gifts out there for helping ourselves. It's always available and it's simple to remember. And if you have trouble actually doing it, try the pursed lips exhale. All right, and then a little bit of bouncing, a little bit of shaking. This is just another aspect of grounding ourselves. When we feel that reverb through our bones, through our joints, there's a lot of nervous system sensing of, oh yeah, I'm on the ground. Okay, so just let that kind of rock through your joints, ripple through your spine. Relax. And notice how you're feeling. Deep breath in, a long breath out. All right, while we're standing here, we're going to close off. I'll explain it first because you won't be able to hear me. You've done this before. Be buzzing breath. We're going to close the ear flaps with your fingers, and we're going to take 5 deep breaths with a long humming exhale. So your pace to do 5. You're going to breathe in normally with your ears closed the whole time. Breathe in normally, and when you exhale, you're going to hum the exhale. And when you do this, of course, you're going to hear the sound inside your own head. This is very stimulating for the vagus nerve, and the humming itself is very stimulating in your throat. Remember, your vagus nerve travels right next to your voice box. There's a lot of stimulation to your vagus nerve when you do this. So 5 breaths, your pace. Put your fingers on your ears and let's go. When you're done, you can release your hands and just notice your new sense of hearing, your new sense of awareness of the space around you. The buzzing breath also naturally extends your exhale. So it's kind of 2 for the price of 1 as far as vagal toning. You can hum, you can sing, you can chant, you can pray out loud. All these things are very toning for the vagus nerve. Take a deep breath in, reaching the arms up. Exhale, floating back down. Relax your head. Inhale for a halfway lift, opening up through your spine. Exhale to melt again. Step your left foot back, come to a lunge, ground yourself. Let's start to move, bending and straightening through the front foot. Let this be an exercise of prolonged exhales. So move slow enough where you feel yourself surrender deeply with that exhale. Maybe your head can bow. And ground yourself in your lunge. Push through your feet, rising up a crescent. Full breath. Challenge your balance. Look up a little bit. Press into your feet. Know the ground. Full inhale, long exhale. Exhale, release your hands down. Back foot comes forward, folding deeply. A halfway lift on the breath in. Relax again. Melt through your skull. Step your right foot back, flex in front now. Ground yourself. Start to move, bending and straightening through your front foot. Feeling your way Into that mobility, the long exhales. Notice any sensation that's arising. Pay attention to what your body's feeling. Pay attention to where you are in space. The feeling of grounding. All right, root your feet down. Push through your feet, rising up. Open up through your spine. Lift the heart. Maybe challenge your balance and looking upward, or softening your gaze to a little, slit through your eyes, or even close your eyes. Feel the grounding and the rising. Feel your breath. You willfully lift the heart. Resist the urge to clap. Stay open. And we'll release the hands down. Front foot back, dog pose. Feel that extension in your body. Yield and push and reach through your body. Come forward into a plank. Ground yourself. Push the ground away. Feel that strength through the core of your body. And then we'll find the ground. Take a breath. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, melting back down. Again, rising. Melting. Push through the feet, lengthening upward, a dog pose again. Ground yourself here. Feel the earth. Root into it, push off of it. Notice the breath. Long exhales. Walk your feet forward. A deep forward fold. A halfway lift, opening up through your spine. Melting again. Pushing through your feet, rising up. Trace down through the center. Feel the midline. When you get to that midline, you can take your hands into a fist with each other, or palm straight, whichever is comfortable, but squeeze toward the midline. And then we're going to add the rest of our body to this. Deep breath in, relax. As you exhale, engage your core, squeeze toward the midline. Inhale, release. Bring your legs together, squeeze as you drop down into a chair. Core, legs, hands. Inhale, stand. Squeeze. So this bearing down and kind of engaging through the core of the body, moving toward the midline, is another great way of stimulating the vagus nerve. One last time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, floating forward. A halfway lift, open through your spine. Exhale to melt. Back to a dog, feel some length. Breathing deeply here, let's move through vinyasa. Inhale, forward plank. Exhale, down to the ground. Any back bend of your choice. Surrender the exhale. Curl the toes under, back up you go. Finding your breath. Walking the feet forward. A halfway lift. Surrender. Push through the feet, rising. Exhale. Soften to the center one more time. Bearing weight into your right foot, pick up your left knee. Take a deep breath in, reach the arms, both of them upward, and we'll turn to the left. On the inhale, come back. Twice more. Slow exhale as you turn. One more time. This is hard balance. As you exhale, we'll stay. Hug that hip in. See if you can turn your gaze, turn your head. Still have a sense of proprioception where your hips are facing forward. Know where you are in space. Ground through the standing leg. And then inhale, arms back up. Put that foot down onto the ground. Enjoy your two legs. Grab a block. And even if you like to do chair pose without a block, try it with a block today, just so we get that hugging to the midline feeling a little bit more. Come down first with our hands on our thighs to a chair and press your legs. Just press your legs anywhere you want on your thighs. You can kind of go down toward your knees or stay up at your thighs and your hips, wherever you want to press, but just have a few moments of pressing your legs. Come up to stand. Bring your arms up to the sky. A full chair pose with that block. Root into your feet, hug here, feel your strength of your pelvic floor, your core, your inner thighs, finding the midline. So when you're ready, take your hands, put them together, press. Lift your chest. Inhale, come back up, bringing the arms with you. Release your arms down, take that block out of the way, and we'll do the twist on the second side. So get your left leg organized. We have that movement in there, which is challenging. So don't worry if you get a little, off balance. It's totally fine. But the movement of crossing the hemisphere with your eyes and having alternate movements with your body, very good for your nervous system. Let's find some lift of that right leg. Left hip is in. Okay, so organize your standing legs so you're aware and pay attention to that proprioception of knowing your pelvis is facing forward. Reaching the arms up. As you exhale, twisting. Notice your hips facing forward as the rest of you twists. Arms up. Know where you are in space. That proprioception and the interoception. One more time. So this time we'll stay. Standing on that leg well, reach through the crown, maybe turn your gaze. Notice where your hips, put eyes on your hip bones facing forward, eyes in your head facing backward. Inhale, coming back up with that foot. Put your foot down onto the ground and enjoy 2 points of contact. Ground yourself. Notice that when you're doing these challenging poses, you're not, probably catastrophizing out into the future or past. We're here. And this is the gift of our practice, is embodiment. Turn sideways on your mat and take some wide legs. Elbows inside your knees. Ground yourself. Feel yourself ease into symmetry here for a moment. Inhale, come on up. Turn your right foot out. Grab a block if you like for triangle pose. Reaching that right arm up, extend and lengthen, and we'll bring our hand down onto the leg or block lightness on that hand. Open up and turn your gaze up toward the sky if you can, or if that bothers your neck, turn your gaze straight down toward the ground. Changing the direction of your vision in relation to your heart. So our heart is facing forward and our vision's up or down. Ground into 2 feet. Okay, bend your knee, reverse your warrior, look up, and then look down. Parsvakonasana, turn your gaze forward. Rooting into your legs well, feeling that fullness in your body. Find your pose. Where are you embodied? Where are you not embodied? Kind of move around inside that sensing of your inner self and brighten places that are quiet. Okay, come back up. Turn your feet to the left. Use a block if you like. Starting with triangle pose. Reach that left arm up, legs are straight, tip the pelvis. Open up through your chest, reach your arm in the air, shoulders down, tail long. Find the grounding of your legs, and then work with changing your vision line. So instead of facing in the same direction as your heart, either turn up or turn down. See if you can have that proprioception that the eyes of the heart are looking one way, where the eyes of the head are looking another way. How's your breath? Come on out of the pose. Reach that arm to the sky. Reverse your triangle. Look up and then look down. Elbow on your knee. Find your legs and then turn your head and your gaze forward. Full breaths here. Full inhale. A full exhale. And when you're ready, lifting back up, turn your feet forward. And we'll come down to Posarita, hands on the ground or hands on blocks. You decide the variation of this you like. Let your head release into an inversion. Focus on those exhales again. And turn back to the front of your mat and find a dog pose. A deep breath in, surrendering breath out. And put your knees on the ground. And we'll drop our feet over to the right and place your left hip onto the ground, or your left hip onto the ground. You can always grab a blanket to put underneath your hip if you like. Okay, your choice. And we'll do a twist here. So see if you can let your eyes just kind of move deeply into the twist. Let's lift our right hand up, bring it to the outside of our left knee. Left hand's on the ground to support. Turn your gaze all the way. Have a little weight down into that right hip so we're not lifting it too high. Drop your shoulders. Turn your gaze. Turn it all the way. And then come back to center, and we'll move our feet over to the other side. Settle yourself, drop that left sit bone down, right hand supports, left arm lifts, bring it to the outside of the right knee, turn your gaze all the way. Notice where your eyes go. See if you can sense the proprioception of your body. Even though you're not looking at your body and you're not looking forward, like we're just facing forward, you know where you are in your space, so find your body. And then come back to center. Sit on the edge of that blanket and come into Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together. Hands behind you to begin. Let's lift our heart. Enjoy the openness of your pelvis. And then we'll come forward, long spine. You can press a little into your legs with your elbows if you'd like. Take the spine long, and then don't be afraid to bow your head in this pose. All right, come back up. Let's come onto our back. Grab a block. teeny bit more left-right work, and then we'll settle. Okay, so as we're here, we're going to do some moving bridges. Root your feet down. Inhale, lift your hips and the arms over your chest, and then just your right arm over your head. Bring that right arm back over your chest to meet the left. Both hips and arms come down. Inhale, hips up, hands to the sky. Left arm only overhead. Bring it back and lower it back down. Once more, each arm. Inhale, pelvis up. Arm comes overhead, right arm overhead. Bring that arm back to meet left. Everything comes down in unison. One more time left. Hands up, hips up. Left arm overhead. Know where you are in space. Bring that hand back. Lower your pelvis down. Grab the block and put it underneath your hips. Whatever height you like, a nice wide block to support your pelvis. Draw your knees into your chest. And then we'll lift both legs up in the air. Enjoy the inversion. Every bit of our practice is good for our nervous system in the sense that we practice embodiment, present moment awareness. You can throw in a couple of those vagal toning exercises like we did anytime you want to specifically tone the vagus nerve, but the nervous system more broadly, not just the vagus nerve, but the nervous system more broadly responds to embodiment. Bring your knees together in toward your chest and give yourself a hug. You can always widen your knees if this is uncomfortable for your breathing. We'll take a little moment of a happy baby here with our hips up on that block. And release our legs down. Lift up the block and lower the block back down. Keep your knees bent for just a moment and take your hands and we're just going to touch, and you can do this lots of different ways. You can smack if you'd like, or you can just stroke, and you can stroke up toward the heart if you feel, that's really good for your limbs, for your lymph, or you can stroke up toward your hands if you feel like you need to just kind of send some energy outward through your limbs. So just kind of knowing where your arms are, stroking through your arms. Do a few passes each, and then take your hands onto your shoulders and cross elbow over elbow and give yourself a hug. Open your arms big out to the sides. Exhale, change the cross, arms over the other way. All right, now same. Pick up your right leg, and you can either stroke down your right leg or stroke up your right leg, whichever feels natural to you that you want to do right now. And then you can put that foot down after a few strokes and get the other leg. And just sensing, from the outside and the inside, here are my legs. Okay, put your feet on the ground. Press your thighs like we did in that chair pose. One more time. Press into your thighs. And then put your hands on your low belly with a little bit of weight. Straighten out your legs for Shavasana. Keep that low belly weight for just a moment. Put your hands maybe a little wider onto your hip bones. And as gently, gently, don't press too hard. Walk up your body a little bit of pressure with your hands on your abdomen, moving up toward your diaphragm, up onto your ribs, up onto your chest, up onto your upper chest, up to your head, so your throat. Take your hands on the sides of your head, neck, give a little bit of a squeeze, a little bit of pressure along your ears and your jaw. Doesn't have to be a lot, small pressure, a little bit of pressure on your forehead, a little bit of pressure on your cheekbones. Anywhere you find the heel of your hand is a nice place. Just gently offer some pressure. And then one, just stroke from your head down your body, wherever you can reach. Down an arm, down another arm, down the sides, down the front of your body. Imagine your legs getting that sweep also, and then melt into the ground. As you begin your Shavasana, return to the best and simplest form of nervous system regulation we have, the long exhale. Begin to deepen your breathing. Feel the weight of your body one more time. Feel the ground. Feel the support. Melt all your body as best as you can into that support. And then we'll start to move. Touch your fingers and toes, let them wiggle, your wrists, your ankles. Start with the edges of your body, know where you are. And then a big stretch, a big breath. Roll to your side. Pause your way up. Bring your hands together. Okay, notice if you feel any better, if there's improvement in your embodiment, your breath awareness, as you kind of touch those koshas, are you more integrated? Whatever the benefits of your practice are, let's offer this out like a prayer. As we build our own good energy, we can offer, so send your energy outward. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.